it going, everybody? Welcome to Watch It Drive. I'm your host, RodZ. Today we got Eli and Jace.
Jace.
I got that right. And again, amazing co-host, Mr. Tuesday.
Hola, hola.
So, Eli, thank you for taking the time, to come on so everybody can know your story. Give you a round of applause.
This is the first of a first, FYI.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Everyone that's come on this podcast has a gasoline engine.
Oh, that is true. Mr. First EV over here. We'll get into that for
freshest
sure.
EV in Charlotte, by the way. Fresh.
Yes, that it is one of the baddest one out here,
Shit.
or the baddest one out here, I should say. But today we're here, to get to know your stories and how you got started into the car community and stuff like that. So let's start it off. What got you into cars, bro?
So, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is like before Fast and the Furious. Like my town, it was always the cars, the wheels. And I would say, after high school, I was working. My first car was my dad's 85 Toyota Corolla that they blew the engine in. So I worked, get the engine put in it, and then I used to barter. So I got the car painted red, surprisingly. So the car was painted red, and then I had the wire wheels on it, some 13x7s.
13s?
Yes.
So when you say you said 86,
85.
Corolla,
So
you're
it's a
talking
box
about like the
style.
11,
Box.
like the 11, the Torino, that kind of Corolla.
No. This is like box.
The box sedan.
Oh, it was a sedan. Okay.
Yeah.
You get it confused with a Sentra, old school Sentras.
Oh, seriously?
And they look
I can't picture it.
Man,
My
we'll pull it up. We
Yeah.
have to look one
pull
up.
it up.
see
what
right
it-
below wherever you have right
Yeah, yeah. And I put the wire wheels on it back when the neon gas red underglow tubes. It wasn't suspension probably was around, but I was like 16, 17, so I took it to the shop and they heated up my springs. $100, heat up the springs. They would set it down and just push on, and then it would stay.
It's funny you say that because the podcast we had before, Jamie, he's a big body and fabrication guy, and he worked in a shop, and that's exactly how he explained how they used to do it back in the day on older cars when they didn't have TN coilovers or springs or whatever. They heat it all up and
Yep.
And compress them.
And compress it down, so your shocks are gone.
yeah.
But yeah, I rolled that out till the axles broke on it, whatever. We rolled it out. I was 17, but yeah, we always try to have like a nice car, take appreciate of it. And
Do you miss it?
that one, no, not that one. It was cool. It was different. We had other people, started getting into one car club later or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, me and my friends, we just ride out.
Nice.
So at that time, it was in that moment of time. So it was cool. And I was like, okay, on to the next one.
So that pushed you to keep going in like the car scene, or at some point you kind of stopped and it fell off, and then fell back in love with being into cars again.
So I don't say I never fell off, but so I would say after that car, then I had a Sentra. I didn't have that one too long. Young kids, you wreck one. So that one was done before it even started. And then I bought a Civic. So in the beginning I had a 92 Civic. And it was black, and I bought it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this to it. It took a while, what was I, like 18 at the time, 18,
Yeah, things like that take time when you're.
And back then the stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's in the current time. So you're talking about in 98, 97, this car 92 is on 6 years old. So all the parts and everything is still like relevant.
Yeah,
and
it's not like brand new.
Yeah.
It's like fresh off the boat.
Fresh. Yeah. Right. So I bought that one. And then what did I do? I had some wheels on it. I bought like some wheels, and then I hit a deer.
Mhm.
So, you know, it was like, okay, I think I'm gonna change it up. So I even the first job, paint job wasn't too good, but I made it like an RC car. So I shaved the antenna off the back and put a power antenna on the side,
Oh, right.
kind of make it like an RC car, whatever. 'Cause, you know, it's like the little.
Yeah.
But the paint job wasn't too good. So around that time, we used to, you know, be in the magazines, the import tuner, and that's where you see your body kits. That's where you see all your car parts, everything in the magazine.
Yeah.
So, you know, one year, I don't know, I was working crazy hours, but yeah, so I had the money to get the kit. I ordered it offline, got the kit, had somebody, you know, one body shop, he wouldn't paint it, but he would put on my kit, so he put on the kit. Then I took it to a body shop, and right before then, I had some buddies I used to run with.
Mm-hmm.
They shaved their door handles. Now the cars were clean, just rims. It was just, you know, it was just shaved, and I was just like, yeah, that looks
Good to do that.
It was like, man, that looks good. So that was like a split decision. I have a friend that has like him and but my friend works at a car shop back home,
Yeah.
and so they did the door poppers and everything on it before I took it to the body shop.
So wait, is this the same Civic you still have?
No, so
Oh,
this is
okay.
another one.
I was about to say.
Right.
Holy crap, bro! This
So-
has been in your house for a long time.
Yeah, I wish. So yeah, fast forward, I got it painted. It's similar color. It was I had some chrome rims on it, you know, coilovers and all that stuff. So it was good. I was working on getting my camera and everything good.
Yeah.
I was eating up tires. I was driving like 2 hours a day. So I was driving from my town to Nashville every day in the car.
So it was just straight up
Yeah.
daily.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was,
Oh, so you know all about this.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had that one for a few years, and then one night I went out. I said I was gonna go to Nashville, and we was out at a club or whatever. Then you know, club's out, it's over, and so we're about to go to another spot, and I thought they already left
Mm-hmm.
because I was looking around. So I got in my car, was like, okay, I'm just gonna go down here.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, they never left. I was kind of mad. But as I'm on the way to the spot, there's a guy on a motorcycle running from the police. So in the end, the cop told me that guy was running about 100, 135. And when he was coming around the corner, I was in here, he went across the middle lane. He came up, he hit me.
No way.
He hit me head on, and it spun me across, spun me out. And the cops had to go around me. And then when they came back, then he came out the sky. So if you see, there's like there's a part of my Instagram that has pictures from it, you know, that talks about it in the story. Yeah, my foot went into the clutch, so my pinky toe was broken, the 2 toes in the middle were dislocated.
Shit.
I had to go to Vanderbilt Hospital. Yeah, it was crazy. So,
What, 20 years old, 18?
so I was 21, 22. This happened in 2002. So I had it for like about almost 4 years.
God dang.
So 2002, that's when that happened.
Oh,
And
my.
yeah, it was crazy. I had like my
Just crazy.
friends
You weren't even racing. You weren't going
No.
speeding up.
You just minding your own business, going to another spot.
bumping Nelly.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah. So,
That's
you know, all my friends were with me. They came to the hospital. They were like, dang. But I was good. Like after I got hit, I was just like, okay.
Trying to figure out what was broken, or
Yeah.
you know.
The guy was the firefighter or whatever. He was like, hey man, I gotta use the jaws of life. And I was like, does it matter? He was like, nah. I was like, okay. So fast forward, I was like, dang, you know, that happened. I said, I wanted to keep it. You know, I always wanted to keep it. So I said, one day I want to find one. You know, I told my wife, it was like all this stuff. So fast forward, when he got out of daycare, I was like, I think I could find one. So that's when I found the Civic.
Thank you for getting out of daycare.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be able to get the Civic.
Oh no. So
So that's the one you have.
yeah,
like,
that's the one I have now.
So you kind of did the same recipe on the newer car.
Same recipe except more. That one, you know, I was working on the system, I didn't change the interior out, you know, just the gray cloth or whatever. The wheels, what I have now is what I was going to change it to. You know, just
Back
a
then?
spit. Yeah.
That's why it's so period correct. Every time
It's
see
such
it.
it's such a masterpiece of
Yeah.
like the era. It's so nostalgic. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's
I
awesome.
think when I first saw it, you brought it to a Honda days.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, Eli, here, like, where's the EV? He's like, no, I didn't bring the EV, I brought a Civic. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what you got? Why aren't you bringing this out?
That's crazy though. You got both. I mean, I guess we'll get into that in a little bit like
Yeah.
later, but that's kind of cool though that you still drive like a combustion engine, I guess.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, I just took my time on that one.
That's pretty neat, man.
That's dope.
So, what do you do for a living in order to support, you know, this hobby that we all enjoy?
Rob people. I'm playing. Oh, you know, I'm just a
Sell drugs.
yeah.
It's the default answer.
That's what you used to think back in the day. You got a nice car in the beeper.
Drug dealer.
Yeah. Man, I'm just like a customer service rep by my job, so nothing special. Just
He's a drug dealer, guys. It's that simple.
nothing special, man.
Oh man. So, what kind of sacrifices have you made in order to, you know, keep up with the cars or, you know, be able to afford everything you're doing?
I think it's just more in balance. You know, I really do shop around. I really try to find the best deal. I don't want to make it to where, you know, like it's gonna hurt me if I do it. Like
Yeah.
you always gotta find a good deal. And if it means waiting, especially like around this time, you might as well wait. I tell people all the time, you know, with the air ride, like they're like, oh man, it's like $5,000. I said, well, wait till Black Friday. They take 25% off. You know how much 25%
It's a lot.
is off of $5,000?
Yeah.
I mean, you're down 3,600.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, you just
That's how I feel about the turbos in my
Yeah.
car. They're $5,000. Black Friday, they're $3,800.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're like, shit.
yeah. So
That's
I mean,
that's a big drop.
yeah. So I mean, you know, you gotta have your money saved up, and
yeah.
if you know how much you think something should cost, then that's what you gotta stick to. You know. So it's just, I think I went through a lot of getting stuff fast for the Tesla,
Mhm.
but now it's like, okay, I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. Okay, I could wait. Yeah, I could do this. I can wait. You know.
Kind of like planning out like
Yeah.
the build versus like, I mean, the car's already yours. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
So now it's just kind of like little by little you make it to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you find like having to wait to get the things you want because it's a daily? Does it suck? Because it's like, man, I drive a car every day. I wish I would have had this already. Like interior parts, it's like, man, I wish I would have had it already. Just does it make you does it make you go, I'm just gonna pull the trigger right now, or do you still stick to your guns and be like, no, I'll wait? You have the patience.
So, at first, I was like, when I started buying parts, like I said, I used to think that they have them in stock,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's not. So I got burned the first couple of times. So I ordered it. I was like, "Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, we gotta make it." I was like, "Oh, okay. So y'all don't have it in stock. It's like it's a
Like make
special
sure,
order." Yeah. So same thing with my kit. You know, it's like I got a deal off the side, and then I was like, "Okay, you gonna send it?" And he was like, "Yo, they gotta make it." I was like, "Oh man." So the first time I was scared. I was like, "Man, I just dropped a whole bunch of money." And you know, it's a good deal. It was off to the side. And the
You
deal
thought
was-
you were getting scammed.
Oh, I was like, what can I do? And then, you know, like the bumper came in, or the rear diffuser came in first, and then like the side skirts came in. So, you know, slowly I was like, okay. So
It's real.
it's real. Yeah.
So like the kit that you order, since you're saying for your Tesla, is it like all one company or like you had to like source it by different like locations?
I source it different, even though I feel like some people are selling the same thing.
Right.
I'm just gonna see which one
Yeah.
has a better deal. There's some other parts that I want to get that's from one company, and
It's expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta wait for the right time. I guess.
Black Friday.
Black
I mean,
Friday.
if it works, that, then like Memorial. I see a lot like those days. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, this should work.
So, have your family always supported you in like the car?
Heck no.
So how?
Man, so let's fast forward. He got rewind it.
Hey, wait, take another sip before you start. This is about to be a good one.
So he gets out of daycare.
Prison.
Yes. So I was telling my wife, hey, I'm gonna look for a car. I'm looking for a car. I'm looking for a car. She didn't know what time frame I was talking about, but I was looking.
Like tomorrow.
Weeks,
Yeah.
2 years. No.
So I found that Civic, and I thought it was. I mean, it was in Georgia, but I thought it was a little closer. It was almost in Atlanta. It was Cinco de Mayo. My friend pulled up at my job, and we rolled out. And by the time we got there, it was dark, and the car needed some work. It wasn't beat up. That's what I was looking for. I didn't want somebody to dog it out. If it could be used, somebody was just driving it. It's cool. So, it had some dings, and the check engine light was on, and the ABS brake light was on, so that wasn't working, and windows wouldn't roll down, doors wouldn't lock. I was like, okay, cool. I can take my time with it. So yeah, we came back home Cinco de Mayo and put the car in the driveway, and she was like, "What is that? You gonna put a car seat in that?" She was like, "I didn't know you were talking about it." Now I was like, "Yeah." So at first, she didn't see the vision. I'm gonna tell you, like, she didn't see it. She just saw this busted up car.
Like that's a crap.
Yeah. Like, well, and I didn't know how it was gonna turn out. Or else I would have done videos. My old neighbor, he was like, he was like, I don't see it either. But, so that was the point where she was like, nah, I don't support it. But as it went through and I was working on it, because I probably worked on it for 4 years. So about 2021, 2022 is when I got it painted and everything finished up.
So, did you do majority of the work yourself?
I did everything except for the paint job.
Really?
That's dope.
Hats off to you, man.
Yeah, I watched a lot of
That's
YouTube
dope.
videos, a couple of Honda guys.
That's freaking cool.
So the car was, like I said, check engine light. So I was like, oh, what's this? Well, it's an OB1. You can't hook up a connector to it, right?
It's true. That's hard.
So I was at work. One guy I used to work with had a Honda Civic, and he was like, oh, no, just put a paper clip in there and you can see it flash. So I went home.
Seriously?
Yeah. So put a paper clip in the connector, turn it on, and it will flash. What's wrong with it? And it was like O2 sensor. O2 sensor was fused into the header. So So I was like, okay, well, I get some headers. So I got headers and the O2 sensor and put it together. Vroom, check engine light. Because it ran like crap home. I barely had any headlights. RPMs. Sound like I was in
Typical Honda.
Oh. It was bad. I was like,
This is the worst decision ever.
Right.
My wife was
Right.
right. My wife was right.
It was dark. No tag. Cinco de Mayo. Check engine light. Headlights not working.
You'll get pulled over. And you're
I put insurance on or whatever. Okay, I was like, I'm just trying to get it home.
You're like, God, I just want to make it to the driveway. Okay? After that,
Got
take the wheel.
it's like I'm thinking like, man, please don't get pulled over, please. And then it was like cars flying down the interstate with no lights on, and I'm just like, okay, if he ain't get pulled over, I ain't get pulled over. But yeah, so yeah. So on that car, like after I did that, I was like, okay, cool. Then that started working. And then, because I was like, man, the engine might be bad, whatever. So I was already looking at, like, either doing a swap or still keeping original with the original D16. But I did an oil change, tune up on it, whatever. And it.
Perfect.
So right now, it's the same engine that it was when that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, did that. Then we did the exhaust. And then I had a buddy help me with the exhaust, Yanaka exhaust. And, because I don't like the glass packs and the real high pitch engine. I like a good So I saw a couple videos how it sound. I was like, man, I think this sounds good. So I did that. Okay, so that's cool. The window wouldn't roll down. It was just a switch.
Mhm.
Bought a switch on eBay, swapped out. Door lock.
So it's little things here
Yeah,
and
it was just little. You know, like, okay, I can fix this. I can fix this. Window sill, you know.
there. Yeah.
And then, you know, well, then it went to the hard stuff later. You know, like I never done a water pump. And, like the timing belt water pump.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a video for a couple months and, you know, that was.
Just jumped in there.
Yeah. Finally. So that, you know, and every time I'm like, well, let's see if it's gonna start up. And
Yeah,
it's not.
it cranks right up.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. So.
And so then your wife started seeing the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I did have to get somebody to line it up, but like the tires and wheels, my brother sells the equipment, so I mounted the tires and wheels.
Yeah.
I did the brakes, the coilovers I bought, I did that. Anything with the engine. The ABS was really hard, so I bought one that was used because it wasn't worth, I don't know how much it was, $1,500 something.
Yeah.
So I bought it used, and it came with the power supply on it. So I was able to, you know, get power to it, see if it runs.
Mm-hmm.
And that one didn't work. But I found a forum on how to fix it. So then I fixed that one and swapped it out with the one I had. And then I fixed that one. So then the ABS worked. Like my buddy helped me, like my back was hurting. I think that was like a New Year's Eve night. We like bent over, like just, you imagine this contraption that's underneath the battery that we had to wiggle through to get out. It was, yeah.
So it sounds like the Civic, the first, I guess, love. That you had a lot of little wins.
Yeah.
Ends up being a big win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like mid-build motivation.
Yeah.
Every time. It was like you hit one, you're like, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
all
it-
right, let's
like
tackle
it-
the other one.
Yeah. And you know, even with that car, even with parts, I used to, because you know it's cold in the wintertime, I used to buy all the parts through the winter and just stack up in the garage.
I have that. I have an issue with that, man. I'm telling him all the time, like, I'm impatient. I want to buy everything right now and install it right now. And he's telling me, take your time, little by little. I'm like, I can't, man. It's tough.
I told them, like, when I did, like, my fueling stuff on my car, right?
Yeah.
So I bought the fuel return system because my car's returnless. It sat for almost 2 years. I had it in the garage in a box. And then I bought fuel pump, let it sit. I bought the flex fuel kit, let it sit. And then the last thing, freaking injectors are expensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need a 1300s, but they cost like $1,500-$1,600
Yeah.
just for injectors. And the crazy thing is, I had just bought another set of 1,000cc injectors. So I'm like, damn. I was like, I just bought injectors like last month. I was like, I just paid $1,000 for 1,000s. I was like, I'm about to pay $1,600 for a freaking 13. And I was like, this is gonna suck, but fuck it. I bit the bullet and I bought them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got patience. I can't. It's tough.
I mean,
2 years is kind of excessive. 6 months, I mean, I could do 6 months.
well, the thing is, you know, like life happens, and I wasn't in a rush. Like I always tell them, like the car's running good, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
If it gives me an issue, and then it's time for upgrade, then I'll keep buying parts to like keep making it better. But other than that, if the car's running good, why change it? Why change the recipe for now? You know?
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. So if you could go back and give yourself a piece of advice with what you know now,
Man, don't go out
What?
to the club that night.
that's what it'll be.
I mean,
I mean,
Stay your
don't you
butt
think
home.
that like that made you want to like push more and like get another car? Like, think of the positives that came out of that.
I mean, it is positive. I always just, I mean, I guess, I also think of, like, I have some people that still have that car from when they were younger. They still have it. And so that was my plan when I was younger, to, like, be like, I still have it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, you know, fortunately that happened. But I promise, like, from that day, right after it happened, I was like, I'm gonna do it again. You know what I mean? Because it was like, I didn't get to sell it. It wasn't my fault. You know, it was more to it, but it was just like,
It's unfortunate.
they do, it's like, it wasn't, I didn't get nothing out of it.
No.
So, you know, I was
Butthurt.
You didn't get like your enjoyment out of the car.
Yeah, I get enjoyment. I ain't get no money out of it. I ain't get like it was just like
It was unfinished business.
yeah.
I'm glad you got to do it again and make it to what it is now.
Yeah.
The car is freaking awesome.
Appreciate
I love it. So I know we talked about your Civic. What other car do you currently drive now?
I got a 2022
Speak up.
Tesla. I got a Tesla Model 3 Performance, a 22 that I got.
So like, what does that mean? Like you say performance, like is there different trims of?
So there is different levels, which in the beginning when I was doing my research didn't even understand. But yeah, there is a rear-wheel drive, which is like the stock, basic.
Mm-hmm.
There's even stuff that's not even hooked up inside that I didn't even realize till later that they, so.
Like they purposely left.
Yeah, they purposely. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So then you have the dual motor, which is what the performance is, but it is locked down to a certain speed, and the performance is locked. And it has like on the rear-wheel drive, the sound system is only like 6 speakers. So they have speakers in the rear deck on some of them, and they're not hooked up. And
What?
the subwoofer, yeah,
Like the speakers are there, but
Yeah.
they're just not plugged.
exactly,
So you got to take the car apart and you plug it.
yeah.
For more inspiring content, follow What's Your Drive on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, comment, or share. And now, back to the video.
That they'll give you like a wire harness to hook it up to.
Oh.
So like you can get stuff after and hook it up and make it work. But yeah, the speakers are in there. They're just not hooked up. So when it goes through the plant, yeah, they put it in there. They're just downgraded.
Interesting. That's it's funny you say that because when I was upgrading like the speakers and stuff on my Z, since I bought the base model, like the wiring for the rear speakers is there. There was no speakers.
There's no speakers there.
The speakers were gone, and I was like, "Yo, what the heck?" So I bought 6x9s, and obviously 6x9 is not gonna fit in the 6.5 thing, so I had to buy like 2 little boxes and put them like next to the sub
Yep.
because the doesn't fit where it goes.
Think about it, that's pretty common because I look at the front of my bumper and I got a plug for the front emblem to light up. I never knew that was there until like I was like, oh shit, I'm tapping into my fog light over here. I could be tapping into this.
Right.
I had no,
So you had to buy the emblem that lights up.
you can buy an aftermarket one, which I did.
Oh shit!
Like-
I thought that was factory.
It's factory if you got. I
The
got
right model.
right model and right year. So I think this is the 14s and all that. They don't have it.
Interesting.
Hmm.
That's
Yep.
crazy. So what modifications have you done to the Tesla right?
Everything.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, because it's a performance. It is the motors are at the max out, so there's more horsepower in it. So of course, there's nothing new there, but it's just changing with the aerodynamics and
Yeah.
you can make it lighter. But so the first was the wheels. So I was going back and forth which kind of wheels I want to get, and I settled on those Stance SF10s. They're bronze. I had a buddy that had Supra that had some bronze wheels. I was like, man, I'm not trying to buy it. He was like, nah, you need to get it. So I was like, okay. So yeah, once those wheels came in, it was I like it,
Those wheels are gorgeous.
So that, and then while I was at a car show with the Civic in Greenville, that's when I got in contact with Invoke because they had a booth up. And, being always on coils, I thought about doing bags on the Civic, but I didn't know how it was going to turn out. That's
Like
where we're
the
at.
Civic?
Yeah. Like, I was like, okay, do I want to spend a bunch of money or how, I know this way will work.
Yeah.
So, it's on coils. So when I met them, I got prices from other places that were doing air ride setup. One place was like, just buy it, bring it to us. Like, I don't know what to buy. Had another guy was like, you do this, only one pump. He gave some outrageous price.
Right.
It's like, but Yeah, so Corey and Alexis kind of just, because when you go online, say like you go to Airlift, it'll say,
3P, 3A.
3P, yeah, 3P, 3A, 3/8 quarter. What's the difference? Two compressors, one compressor.
Yeah.
What's behind it, and Alexis just explained it all out. I was like, okay, it makes sense. And I was like, why even have a 1/4-inch airline if the 3/8 is like, more air can dump out and go in quicker. But I guess it's just for people, certain cars, the tubes got to go through, so it's a 1/4. And you can't, and that's a decision, like I didn't know where to go, but that decision right there affects a lot, because if you do 1/4, you can't just change the management. The struts are a 1/4, management's a 1/4. So you have to rebuy it again.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Okay.
So,
plug and play.
yeah. So it's not like, the tube on the end. Yeah, it's a 1/4-inch inlet in the strut. So
And you can't switch that
You
out.
can't switch it out.
Damn.
So
or something like a.
I mean, it's
Like in my mind, I was thinking, how they have like AN lines, like the fittings.
Yeah.
I feel like
The
to
fitting
take the
would
fitting
change.
off and then put a different fitting back on.
Yeah, you'd step down from.
Yeah.
3P.
Oh shit, that's.
I don't think you can. So that was the thing, because that's what everybody talks about. And I'm like, oh, why don't you get this? And like, no, I gotta get the struts too.
Well, the management itself is probably programmed to read out a 1/4 or whatever it is.
Yeah, the 1/4 and 3/8.
Yeah.
So that was where my decision. I was like, and when they explained that, I was like,
That sucks.
That's why coilovers, bro.
yeah.
Coilovers where that.
Oh.
So what inspired you to say what?
Wait till you drive the test.
Actually, I only ran in one like Tesla, and it was
But you
completely
didn't
stock.
drive it though.
No,
I drove his Tesla.
I
He came to my house and I drove it. I was like, this is a whole different experience. Because you don't brake. You
yeah,
just
you guys
hit
were
the-
telling me that. You
Yeah.
don't brake.
So it's programmed for regenerative braking. So you also get your power. So once you lift your foot off the pedal, it automatically starts slowing down.
But does it have like a brake pedal?
It
there?
does.
I'm so
But you can-
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Think of it like if you hit the gas
Uh-huh.
or the electric.
Yeah.
You hit the electric, right? You go, you let go. The car starts to slow down automatically.
So it'll slow down. You'll see your bar, kind of like your RPMs. But once it goes below halfway, it shows green. So that's when it's doing that. It's giving power back to the battery.
Yeah.
So the energy has to go somewhere. So they put it back in the battery. And if you can play with it right, I done it in my wife's car. I've gone through like a hilly road, and I've played with it just enough where I can see a percentage go back up and go back down.
So seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it kind of recharges itself.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, I could get what you're saying because driving a manual car, as soon as you let off the throttle,
right.
it's like
Exactly. Especially if you're like second gear. You're like it's like you change when you downshift when you
Uh-huh,
brake.
and it's like-
Yep.
So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they did that. I didn't understand when you guys first said it. You're like,
I was driving
you don't
with my
brake,
neighbor,
and I was like,
don't
what
need
you
to hit the
mean?
brake. He said, you don't really have to. And I didn't have to
Just
hit the
stop.
brake.
I don't know, bro. I'll
Yeah,
be
I
nervous.
guess-
I'll have to keep my foot hovering over the brake pedal at least.
Yeah. I mean, it'll roll, and then once it goes to a stop, it'll hold, so it'll break
Yeah.
it by itself. So
I will say the one weird thing when I drove your car, the no sound was getting to me because you normally hear an
Can you
engine.
hear like the tires at least?
it depends. So the tires I got now, they're not EV tires because they don't have.
Wait a minute. Time out. Roll back. There's fucking EV tires.
Yeah, because they got sound deadening in them. They have a foam in the tire.
I
So
didn't know that shit.
What the fuck?
That's news to me.
yeah, Yokohama. Like when I was at the
What?
yeah.
So it's
Mind
like
blown.
front flats, but
Yeah, it's not like run flats. But yeah, so they have a sound deadening in it.
Yeah.
And then and the more expensive tires they might not, but they're real, like the sound is
Yeah.
required.
yeah.
So those are not I almost did like the front like the EV tires and the rear regular, but I don't know.
I'm sure it gets expensive when you get the EV tire, but I mean, I would assume they're freaking more
It's
expensive.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because my rear, is 275, they only go up to like so my front is 245. I think 255 is as wide as they're going right now. So Yeah, I talked to a lady when I was at a show because I was like trying to
So
get.
now let me ask you this: since they make EV tires, right, and
Mm-hmm.
you got like let's say regular tires that you can get anywhere, does it make the battery last more or less versus having one or the other?
I don't think it's more of a battery thing of energy, but it's more of the sound noise.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You just hear the tires.
It's kind of like having Archer plates. They're grippy, but they loud.
Yeah.
They're extremely fucking loud inside the car. You're like, dude, what the fuck? It sounds like a Jeep, like humming when you're driving down the highway. It's annoying. So what made you go on the route of building a show car versus like, kind of taking the car and going to the track? Because a lot of people that have a Tesla, they love doing freaking quarter mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that car can do it. I enjoy like seeing the track, but I never been that racing. I don't know if that accident caused something.
Yeah.
Even with like bikes, I have friends that drove fast on bikes. And R.I.P. So, I've always just kind of looked good.
Chill.
It could look like it, I watch everybody else, but yeah, I think that's where that comes into play.
So is this like your dream car?
Nah, I'm a Honda person, It's just that at that time, whenever I was looking, and then rewind back to one time when I took my Honda to a show here in Charlotte, like.
You need a refill? That's why you're looking at your cup.
People like his period correct, but the world and the whole car is changed, right?
Yeah.
It's changed a lot. I don't like the camber. I hated. Like I really did not like it at first. Like
Camber on the
just any car, just the whole.
Oh yeah.
On the whole camera. More and more, like if it's not too bad, like it's okay. But that's what in the shows. That's what it's going towards, right?
Yeah.
It's not the late '90s, early 2000 cars you see,
Yeah.
So I was like, man, people appreciate it, and I appreciate it. I like it, but I feel like that's not where it's at,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, okay, let me do something different. I owned a Beamer, had a Mercedes, sorry. But I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? Being gonna do an Acura, I was looking at TLs, I was looking, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Had a buddy, my friend, he was like, man, just go look at it, test, so I was looking into it, and it took a while because I think COVID was going on.
Yeah.
And I test drove them. And I had more looks when I was in the Tesla just driving on Independence, people looking at me, than if I was on my Civic,
Really?
Yeah. And so.
This is after it was hooked up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, this is so weird.
It's recognizable. There's no doubt about like when I see like I saw you the other day at Tryon or whatever, and me and the wife pull up and she's like, isn't that Eli? And I'm like, yep, that's Eli. Like you can't deny that's your car.
Yeah.
I seen you come by the Carowinds Boulevard, and the corner of my eyes just saw you whip around the turn. I was like, oh shit, that goes Eli.
Like you just know that's him. Like it's significant.
Like instantly stood out. Like I don't care what was there, but like I just saw your car and I was like, yeah, that's Eli right here.
Yeah.
I think
that's a good feeling though. Like you get recognized just off the car. Like it's unique.
Yeah.
And you can't deny that.
There was one of my friends, he told me, said his daughter was at work and was like I guess at work, and this guy was like trying to impress her, was like, yo, I was taking these pictures of these cars, and my car was at the show in Concord. He's like, man, look at this car's bad. She was like, I know him. It's Eli. You know what I mean? It was like crazy.
It's a small world, bro.
It is.
It is.
So what has been your favorite memory of like owning either of the cars?
Oh, go ahead, bro.
Oh.
Go ahead. You want to answer this one?
Well, he'll take me to school. All the girls I walk in. Oh my God, is that Iron Man car?
So you flex off of his success.
Maybe. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Eli, what about yours?
You know, it's like we have a couple good times because I'm always with them folk at their tent or whatever. So it's like, you know, just hanging out
Mhm.
and people coming up because every time they're like, "That's a Tesla." You know what I mean? It's like, to me, I'm like, yeah, you haven't like. I guess people have not seen really what you can do. Probably like, you know, North Carolina. I'm like, yeah. And then, you know, people like, I hate Teslas, but I like yours. Or if it come like that, I would buy it. And I'm like, but it does. You just gotta.
Yeah.
See, it's not like
It's a
it's
vision.
it's like every car doesn't come like how you see it here.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then everybody will have the same freaking car.
Yeah.
So like you just gotta put your own taste on what you buy.
Yeah.
Like it, you know, I don't know. People's mindsets is just bonkers sometimes.
I mean, it is. You know, and it's hard, but it's like, I used to be scared. Well, not like scared, but like when I go to like meets or whatever, it'll always be somebody that kind of talks trash.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the reason they talk trash is because they like the car and they hate that they like it, so they have to say something
Yeah.
bad about it. That's
Yeah.
the way I see it.
And I mean,
When it comes to something like that, like your car that is clean. I mean, there is some questionable builds out there that you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But your car, nothing questionable about that.
yeah.
Here's my take. I think the hate for EV is everybody. When I say everybody, I mean car manufacturers are pushing EV. Like, I think that's
yeah.
what the hate is. It's like we don't need. Everybody doesn't need to have their cars to be EV,
Right.
right? And then here comes Tesla, who's strictly EV, and it's like that's unique as shit. You can't get around the fact that it's unique as hell.
And they fast.
And they're fast, right? So it's like, yeah, you've got a point. They may hate on that a little bit, but you take it a step further and you hook up a Tesla. Now it's like, oh, top tier status. Like that's legit as hell.
Yeah. And I, you know, and of course, every time somebody hates on me, I always have to remind them that, you know, I got a Honda at home.
Yeah.
I got, you know,
Yeah.
like, and most people that I know that have a Tesla that's hooked up, they're not like just born and this is their first car. You know, they had the BMW Z3.
Yeah.
You know, they have the you know, they've always had a car before. So this is not like they're just breaking into this industry and thinking that this is it. Like they got a history
Right.
too. And you know, I never say, yeah, this is the way to go. Now, if when I break down how I budgeted and everything, it makes sense. So my
Right.
thing is always like, if it make, you know, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I do it with the car. You know, people hate on it. Well, I don't. Yeah, it doesn't take gas, but that's, to me, that's a stress that takes off because I have a car payment.
Yeah.
No matter what, every month, that's how much it costs, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a car payment and then, you know, going through Lake Wiley, gas jumps up 30 cents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can budget my money. I know this how much this
Yeah.
costs, whatever, split it up, and I can charge it. Now, at home, on my car, it's like $40 a month. Extra.
Okay. That's not bad at all.
To charge your car $40 a month?
That's one time.
So-
I mean, that's more.
Bro, I need a fucking Tesla.
So yeah, so if you look at it with, you know, like Duke Energy, when you look on your bill, it's 11 cents a kilowatt.
Mhm.
So even on your phone. So I think it's about, so I can show you the one because I charged it up before I came over here.
Yeah, I tell you what, I have had a different feeling about EVs in the past 2 years,
So yeah,
especially meeting him. It's
yeah. So it was 44 watts to kind of almost charge it up all the way. It's 11 cents a kilowatt, so it costs $5. So usually it's about $10 a week I spend, because I charge it up like twice.
Like twice during the week.
Yeah.
And how often do you drive the car?
I mean, I drive it every day. Sometimes on the weekend, I not.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How far do you drive? Like,
I go to Westinghouse, you know, over there, West Side to my job at Monday through Friday. And I mean, ain't that far, but you know, and then.
But
so-
I mean, like, okay, I know you say 8 miles, but people don't understand, like, coming in and out of Lake Wiley or like this area,
Yeah.
those 8 miles could be like freaking
Oh yeah,
45
especially,
minutes an hour.
Yes, took an hour
Jeez.
yesterday to get to work because there was an accident on 77, so everybody came through Lake Wiley yesterday.
Yeah.
Traffic is horrible.
Yeah.
It's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Yo. The only reason I say that is because I'm trying to put in perspective, like because I drive an hour each way, and when this like rush hour, easy hour 45.
So if you go to Concord, you know it says it could do on each charge if it's 100%, it's about 230 miles maybe. It all, you know, like you said, it all depends on how you drive it, how you know.
Yeah, that's
if you sit in traffic, it's the same thing like gas. So it all depends on that, right?
Yeah, like
But if you
heavy
go to Concord and back in my
rifle
car, I probably can do 2 days. And then, you know what I mean? Go to Concord and all the way back.
And fill up for $10.
And then fill up for $5.
Oh,
and-
$5.
Yeah, and then go again.
Damn. See, like, I'm going through $100 of gas a week.
Yeah, my wife's in the X.
I'm on
She's
E85.
$100 a month for that, and she charges it up every day, and she goes everywhere. It's crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, so that one's, you know, it said it all depends how much you drive. The mileage is funny because if you look at the mileage, it's kind of weird because everything goes in a factor with it. One, because it's on a battery. So you also have a 16-volt battery that does all your accessories and everything that I have.
Like
And
a regular car battery?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Interesting.
yeah. So it has a regular car battery, and then you have your big battery for your driving.
Interesting.
And then so, you know, it all has to charge
Yeah.
everything. So, you know, there's other things that come into play, you know, like you have settings. So every day at 6:30 in the morning, my car is warm, ready to go. It knows when to go. It tells, you know.
So, like, you could create a routine
Yeah, you can
on
create
the
a
car,
routine.
and it'll just,
Yep.
yo, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So you create a routine.
Living in the
it's
future
definitely-
over here. Damn.
I think we're turning EV over here. Thank you, Eli.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's the cool stuff, you know, besides that EV. You know, yeah, it doesn't make sound, but I kind of like that. I'm more, you know.
I'm sure my neighbors would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, now? Yeah.
You know how loud my car is, bro?
Yeah. It's loud.
Straight
Like,
Whoa. Yeah.
and like at 4 o'clock in the morning when I have to get up and go to work.
Yep. You go.
Cold start right here with this door open. There, I'm sure my whole neighborhood knows. Like, it's 4 o'clock, it's time to
Yep.
wake up or whatever it is. Or
Yeah.
6.
I mean, you know, that was just one of the things that I was like. I mean, I've never liked. I mean, people like a good exhaust. That's why, like, on my Civic, it's good. It's not loud, but it's good. You can hear it. It sounds good. So I never been that person that liked the glass pack or cut off the,
Nah,
you know, no muffler at all. But that was just me.
that's
So-
me right now.
But the thing is, like, mine is just loud at start because it's a cold start.
Oh,
but
yeah.
once it warms up, it like quiet. It was like,
Yeah.
and it'll stay there at that tone. And I could do that whole tone, leaving the neighborhood like, kind of, because I
Yeah.
could just let it coast when I left the club.
And then when you get out,
And then when I get out there, I just
yeah,
If you need to do a drive-by, call Eli.
yeah, man.
Because it's
I'm trying to tell you.
it's quiet.
I mean, you know,
incognito. Just,
You got 4 doors, you're good to go.
just do like the Jetson.
right? It was so funny because no lie, it's funny now that I think about it. So before the 3, I had a Y, and then
You had a why?
so I had a Y, and that's when COVID was going and gas. I think gas shot up like real high. That's when it was like $5 for just
Yes.
regular,
Yeah.
right? So everybody's doing the EV, and I was just like, you know, I like the Y. I kind of like the 3. I see how I could look. It's more sporty. I said, man, it's a split decision. I only had it for 6 months.
No.
And so I was like, man, what do I do? And I was talking to my buddy. I was like, let me see. And Carvana offered me $15K over what I paid for it.
Jeez.
So,
So,
Done.
especially if you were already thinking about
yeah.
it.
Sorry.
So I already knew it. It was like, you know, and it was right then, right? Like it's one of those moments. The same thing with the housing market, you know, like selling the house. I feel like when my dad moved up here, we were checking out before. They was like, oh, you can buy it, but you gotta fix to pay this, and we could see it. It was about to come like tip over to start going the other way, and like he made out like a bandit. He had to fix nothing, and it was like 3 times as much as whatever they asked him. That we would get in the end. after the first time. So I was just like, man, we're just gonna do it.
That's
And just sold it. I mean,
you gotta keep an eye out and take that.
and I mean, man, it was like, it's like, it was so smooth of a transaction. Everything was online, FaceTime call, walked around the car. It was like, all right, somebody be there to pick it up, and then they paid off the car, and then the rest of the money was in my bank.
I wish I would have.
Yo,
I
that's
wish I would have
crazy.
went to car loan.
Yeah.
I went to Vroom to get my car.
Oh what?
Vroom.
Mm.
I don't know what that is.
It's like Carvana, but shit.
Yeah,
Let's just say I found a bullet in my car when I got it.
man,
Oh,
gangster.
shit.
Like, it came from Texas, so I'm sure somebody. It was a full bullet, but it wasn't a casing, nothing. But the wife looks in the back seat as she's sitting in the front. She's like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's a bullet."
Damn, they didn't even
Is this
look it out.
This is good luck, bad luck. What the hell's going on?
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
So Eli, what keeps you inspired in the car culture?
What can I inspire?
No, what keeps you inspired
Oh,
in the car
inspire.
culture?
Sorry. I'm gonna say Jace. Jace been my road dog since, the beginning. I know when I first started taking the Honda out, he was probably, what was that? Like 20, so he was probably like 10.
Sister Mercedes.
Probably had Mercedes too. But so he was like 10. I remember I went to the one car show and then, they were playing Fast and the Furious and stuff. And so he's been with me the whole time. He sees it. He's been with me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep him interested. Keep him interested in not doing stupid stuff. You know what I mean? And so now he got a camera, so he's trying to take pictures, and I always encourage him.
Hanging out with the right people.
Yeah, hang out with the right people, take pictures, and start thinking. He can start thinking, what he wants to get. If he wants to do something, man, we're talking about that now. He's already looking at a car, so it's like we can do it. Whatever it is, some way.
Yeah, my 13-year-old she's thinking when she turns 16 and gets her permit and her license, she's gonna get a car. And I'm like, Daddy and Mommy ain't getting a car. Like, you gotta graduate and get some work in before that happens. But
There's one thing, my parents, they ain't have it.
yeah,
And that's why I said, his car, he blew the engine, it was only, so that was 85, 90, so it was 10 years old, right? And so I already had a job at 14, 15,
mm-hmm.
and I saved up, got the engine, and, they were even to where they couldn't pay for the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do all that,
Yeah.
And I feel that, to me, that helps me out to understand, how much I had to pay for, and it's just, a lot of kids,
It showed you that shit isn't cheap.
right. Yeah, so when I had the Sentra for a couple months, the car payment was $255, and my insurance payment was like $249.
$500.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
That's almost 2 weeks worth of work.
yeah.
Depending how much you're getting
And
paid.
back then, yeah, it was,
That was a lot.
I thought I was doing something with $12 an hour. But,
So, what's your car meet 101 etiquette for somebody that's coming to a car meet for the first time?
Take notes, Jace. Take notes.
I already got one.
uh-oh.
Don't be retarded on the way home. I just had to say it.
Don't be retarded. What?
On the way home.
On the way home.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So leaving.
Leaving.
Like
Same.
shows and meets, because
Okay. Okay. I like it.
I seen things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love this kid.
Love it.
I mean, I always, and when I pull up, believe it or not, I'm shy. I don't really talk to people too much, but, just be yourself. And, yeah, don't be trying to do all that stupid stuff, man.
So, do you think the car meets are getting kind of boring nowadays?
I don't think it's boring,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that we are seeing the same thing, same people all the time. So it's nothing new. Maybe here or there, maybe somebody will pop out and be new. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. I see other meets that are further away, and I'll be wanting to go, but I'm just like, man,
It's a
yeah,
2-hour ride.
2 hour ride. It's like, maybe we can make it there. Oh, we ain't gonna get home till 3 in the morning. Nah, I ain't gonna make it. You know, I mean, I think that's the only thing. I know. Whenever I was younger, man, we just had like a strip. We had a strip on the river, and like, you know, one friends they park at by the park. Then some people had a couple parking lot, be like 5-10, and like we would just drive down and just meet people, hang out, keep going. And I mean, it's a cool meet, but it's, you know,
It's changed.
yeah,
I think everybody wants their 10 seconds of fame.
yeah,
Too fast. It's like, bro, relax. You know, like, enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. Not like, oh, I need to do this now because everybody else is doing it. If I don't do this, then I'm gonna get left behind. Like, no, bro.
I feel like that with like Cars and Coffee. Like Concord at Motor Speedway.
yeah,
Like I haven't gone back for a few reasons, but I don't want to go back. Like it's not enjoyable to me anymore. It's like you're right. You see the same cars over and over again. It's like, all right. At this point, you're just doing laps and you're just counting your steps. At this point,
Yeah.
you're right. You want to go somewhere different, like Morrisville, right? You know, we've been there one time. We all need to go again. Another point, obviously, when it gets warmer out, but just to see the different dynamic, different
Right.
cars. You know, still
And-
maybe Civics, Teslas, and all that shit, but still, it's a different vibe
yeah.
out there.
Different.
So, like, it's crazy because you remember, like, I've never been. And when we went that first time, what happened when we pulled up to that Starbucks?
That was that RodZ?
I was like, what the You know,
Oh,
yeah,
they
like,
knew you.
yeah, like, I had no idea. So, like, you know, you pull up somewhere and then you just don't know who follows you.
Mhm.
You don't know, like, you don't know who's been following you build this whole time. And when you go to a different city, you get to talk to different people, then
Right.
you get to see that impact and the influence that you kind of making in,
Mhm.
you know, in the car scene. So I think that's a cool thing to do, not just stay in your little bubble where you feel safe
Yeah,
of, like, you know, not expanding and going to check out, like, other cars and other people to see their opinion.
If you're uncomfortable, you are growing, right? If you're comfortable and you're not doing nothing, you're not gonna evolve,
yeah,
change or nothing. And that's, to me, that's key, right? Like, you got to be able to change your mind about things.
Yeah.
And then I really only go to car meets because, like, here, because the people, I know it's
Yeah.
all fun. And then I go to the ones all the way over there
Yeah,
to see new cars too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just-
It's a different scenery, right?
Mhm.
That's what you want to do.
yeah. Maybe that's, you know, and it was funny because even when, you know, back then, I'm trying to think how we even went to like car shows. I'm pretty sure it was like in the paper. Cause I know we would drive far. There'd be somewhere that's saying it's like there's a car
For
show.
me, it was always word of mouth. Like,
It had to be that too. Like I heard
Yeah.
that you want to ride out, it might be a show.
Yeah.
And, you know, you didn't know.
right. To me, it was like, hey, I lived in Long Island, New York. It was like, yo, DPA, Deer Park Avenue.
Mm.
That's the place you go to show your car.
Like, people knew,
Yeah, that's
like, the
place.
hideouts. Even though, like, you know, when people used to go to Mexico or whatever, it would be
Mhm.
like a certain group of people. Nobody will know. But now it's like people just
Yeah.
recording everything and then putting everybody on blast. And it's like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that took a little bit of the mystery about it, and, you know, and the quality of the car meets and shit like that, because everybody try to be doing something stupid. So what's the big, in your opinion, what's the biggest disadvantage of being a car enthusiast?
Man, I'm always think I'm done with the car and then I'll see something else I want. You know what you mean?
No, I mean, like, is your take on it? Like, what do you think it is for you? You know, like, it's not. I can't tell you what.
Like for me, the disadvantage of being a car enthusiast
Yeah.
is similar to that. You know, it's never done. The project will never be complete.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a hobby that will It's a very expensive hobby that you get no return. It's not an investment.
Mm-mm.
You have to be willing to dump the money.
And no, it's not.
And
It's not.
never
It's,
coming
yeah,
back.
yes. There's no equity in
No.
except for that one time. So
Well, but
but that was it. I mean, that was the one time in history that ever a car has had it.
but think about the joy that it brings you. Isn't
I mean-
that like satisfaction enough? Like, is any amount of money worth the joy that you get from doing something you love and you're passionate about?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I spend it.
So you're saying, what's the question? Are you saying that having put
Like, you think if, like you're saying, like, you know, we get no return on it, you waste the money, but do you think if
okay.
you were to think about it that way, more, you know, like,
I think it depends on the situation because I could have dumped $4,000 or $5,000 into somebody wrapping my car. I said no. I'm going to save that money and do it myself.
Mhm.
I got more satisfaction by doing it myself
I think that
than paying. I mean, yes, I would have gotten satisfaction me picking up at 5 o'clock and saying, "Yeah, my car's done. That's great." But it took me a month to do my own car, and I even got more satisfaction because I'm like, I did that, right?
yeah.
And you changing your engine out, like you doing the entire Civic out.
Right.
Those are when you do things yourself and you save the money. I think that satisfaction is a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, every time I look at the Civic, I'm like, man, I really sat there, or you know, thought about all the stuff you did, and that's when, and then people were talking about, oh, would you sell it? It was like,
No,
I can't. It's like I did everything that I could to it. You know, I did all that.
it's like raising kids.
Yeah,
Like
oh, here, let me raise my kid and just give it
Yeah,
to me. Like, here, it's your kid now.
you're
Yeah.
nurturing something, you're helping it grow,
Yeah.
and it's like
yeah,
giving it away. What? Why? But I mean, there's somebody said yesterday, there's a price to everything. So
I mean, they
like,
say that, but I mean,
if I give
yes,
you 100K right now for the Civic, you're gonna turn it down? You just say,
I think it still goes in, to me, it still goes into play, like who it is, what they're going to do with it. Because I feel that somebody that just paid for it, because I have seen somebody just buy a show car. And, you know, and how they take care of it versus somebody that put their blood and sweat into it. It's two different things. Somebody gives you 100K, they're like, oh, whatever, I just spent money on it. They're not going to treat it the same. So now I got to think about how they gonna treat it. I think that's where it goes into why I can't sell it. One, I don't want to, but two, it's like, I mean, you know, if they came with it, but it's like, man, you about to dog it out, and then
But it's like John said, like, you know, when we talked about on the other podcast last night, you could always build the same car again.
so yeah, you have the recipe for yourself.
So let's say 100K, obviously that gives you the equity and, you know, the funds to buy the car, build it again exactly how it was. Would you do?
I don't think it would be as much joy building it again.
Okay.
That's what I said. And I said, so they're gonna
I
bury
mean, because
me
you
in the
already
car.
did it. It wasn't like the first time.
Yeah.
It was the first time you did it, like you did it. I mean, you know, then what? You just turned into like a manufacturer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the next question is that would you ever regret doing it? And I guess your answer is yeah. You
I
regret.
I'll
Yeah.
instantly regret. So my Z,
Yeah.
everything I've done to it and everything I learned with that
Yeah.
damn car,
I think
bro, I'll be depressed, bro.
But that plays into like your dream car. You got one of those in the question. What's your
Yeah.
dream car? Like, if that gives you the opportunity for the sell the Civic for 100K, does that 100K go towards your dream car?
It would.
Okay, so now is it worth selling a Civic? You put it in that aspect, it's like, all right, well, now it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it is different.
Because I tell you right now, if somebody offered me 100K for my Q,
Yeah.
I'm buying an NSX. Like that's
Same. Yeah.
right. So I'm gonna go buy one. So yes, I don't give a shit about the Infiniti. Take it. Do whatever the fuck you want with it.
It's yours now.
Yeah, it's yours. Keep the recipe. I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do a brand new recipe on my dream car. So it's like, it's hard to.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to go. You know, what comes into play? What's the offer?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah,
It's like your blood, sweat, and tears. Like, do you think the car is worth what they offering you for
right.
for the time and the memories and everything you put into it?
Yeah.
Like, if it's just a sentimental buy, I don't think it has any price.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, for example, like you talked about, your dad had a car and you guys like work on it together. Let's say you still have that car and somebody say, "Yo, let me buy this." Like,
That's
Yeah.
different. You
Yeah.
got an
like
emotional attachment.
the emotion of building the car with like your loved one or something, or like building a car with your son.
Yeah.
Like that has no money to it.
Right.
That's just something that you just gonna
Yeah,
treasure.
I
Is
can see
worth more than money.
And, Jace is like, man, why y'all talking about selling my car?
Oh, you want to keep the Civic? Okay.
Eh,
This is all hypothetical, bro.
Yeah.
It's not gonna answer. unless they give him 150K, then it's gone.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it would be the NSX.
Do you think that the car community is too judgmental?
This is an interesting question because he has an EV, and
That's why I want to hear like
So-
what he thinks.
Yes, but I'm gonna let y'all know now, like they talk junk as soon as I pull up. And you know what I do? I go, hold on a second, let me park. And then I air out on them and they're like, I'm just done. They can't say nothing. They're like, okay, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So you shut him up.
I shut them up real quick. And then they're just like, okay, I see what you're doing. I mean, it just doesn't have the sound. I mean,
Yeah.
to the end, that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's just no exhaust. So, but, car guy to try to do something different. So that's
That gains a lot in my book. That gains a lot of respect. Going a different route, being unique, being different.
I feel like there's not enough of that.
It's not.
There's a lot of copy and paste.
mm,
Like I say, you're doing it, and I think it's a cool trend, so I'm gonna follow it. There's a lot of that going on right now.
yeah. You got all your. I mean, you got an Infinity crew. You got a Nissan crew.
I don't have an Infinity crew. I could be part of Infinity crew. I mean, shout out to you guys, but I know what they all have, right? And you know what all the Teslas can produce, but to me, it's like, how do you put your fingerprint on this world of ours, right? How do you make it your own?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've done it on both cars, right? Like, I can see you driving anywhere and say that's Eli. And that's right there to me is like, that's the fingerprint.
Cool.
Like, if I had my black, if I still had it unwrapped and it was black, you can't distinguish me from any other black Infinity Q50 out there.
Yeah.
But
That's a good way to put it.
yeah, I mean, like you with your Mickey Thompsons, like you see any 370Z, with Mickey's, that's J-Rod.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
Like you make your car like an extension of your personality.
yeah.
So I think that's a good way to
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do like a game where I'm gonna give you two choices. You got 3 seconds to pick one, and then I want to hear your why. Like you can give me a reason like why you picked that.
Oh God.
Since you have,
Can Jace play in this one too?
yeah, they could both answer.
Okay.
We'll go Jace first, and then that.
Okay. Cool.
You ready, Jace?
Gives you some time.
Yeah. Right.
You get to piggyback off his answer.
All right.
All right, Jace. Coilovers or bags?
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
One.
Come on, bro.
2.
3.
Bags. I don't care.
Okay. Why, Jace?
Because it's just like bags. Like you parking up the driveway, got a curb. Easy. Coilovers. Oh man. How do I get over this? Boom. Oh no.
That was actually a great answer. All right, Dad. Come on, your turn.
Yeah. I'm gonna say bags. Man, the ride, especially when you can dial it in. You probably can with the coilovers, but the coilovers I got on the Civic, it does it. But like once you dial in and drive, man, it's so smooth. It's like it's so smooth. And yeah, whenever we go in the garage in my Civic, I'm going 45-degree in. It's still scraping. Like whenever it rains, you can see all the scrape marks from my exhaust that hit it. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, and you know, and with the Tesla, the battery's on the bottom. So there is a couple people that are static in it. They make more money than me, so you know they can do it. If it messes up me, you know, nah, man, I gotta make sure. So yeah, just the air up is you know cool. And like I said, when you just air out, and you know,
They get everybody.
with like Corey and them, you know, to dial in to get your, you know, your wheels are like straight tuck and like nothing in there. Like yeah, it's awesome. Like when they tuck.
That's pretty cool. That was a good answer on both of you. So, all right, Jace, here's for the next one. A GT3 RS Porsche or an Acura NSX.
GT3. I don't care. That's my dream car. And sorry.
It's fine, bro.
It's
We're not
okay.
friends
That's all we need. It's your dream
We're
car.
not friends anymore, guys.
Dream car.
What about you?
Oh man, it's an NSX. It's probably, I'm trying to think which body style it is though.
O2.
Is it 02?
O2 is
It's
nice.
like the second gen, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not the one with the flip.
The pop-ups are like 92.
I don't want the pop-ups.
So not
Yeah.
O2.
It's a-
02.
Oh, you want O2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, man, I was looking at it one time. I ain't gonna lie. Before the Tesla, I was like looking. I was like,
Yeah, you could probably afford it back then too.
I gotta wait about 3 more years. Like, 3 more years. Though. I just need a bigger garage. That goes into my problem because you know you're a car enthusiast, but I feel like I collect them too. So it's like you see them people that have in garages and they're just collecting cars. Man.
I'm one of those persons. Like, my dream is to own every Generation Z.
Yeah.
Eventually, I will do it. So the next one is bro, I lost my. What the fuck did it? Oh, here it is. Function or form? Jace, do you need me to explain?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So, form is like super static stance. Function is like my car, kind of like your dad's car that he could drive it anywhere and take it, like Chris's car. You ever see a stance car with like camber? That's like,
The wheels are like this.
yeah, they got
Yeah.
like camber and stuff like that. So that, or like a car that looks good that you could use it for everything.
Three, two.
I guess. But that you can use for everything. So,
So you like function.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm function.
Function?
Yeah. The camera thing is. I mean,
We gotta get some new cats to explain it. Cause
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's so funny because when you're younger, you're like, oh, you have to get your camera done so you don't wear your tires. Now it's like,
Yeah.
now you're
You want
rotating.
more camera.
You want it where your
Yeah.
camera where you're eating it up, and then you're, you know,
They're not even, they only using like the little bit of the
Yeah.
sidewall, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Not even using the thread part of
Right.
the tire, which is crazy.
yeah. So, and with the Tesla, I mean, we just put the airbags on it, so I didn't put any adjustment camber, so it has a little bit of camber. Whenever I had it lined up, it's like -2. It's something little, you know what I mean?
It's not crazy.
Yeah. It's like some cars look pretty good, but man, tires are expensive.
They are, definitely.
Yeah.
So I know you said you watched Chris's
Yeah.
podcast. This is one of the things that we talked about. Like, I know there's, obviously a lot of talk about EVs,
Yeah.
fossil fuel. And like, what do you think? What's your opinion on where everything is headed? Towards like EV versus like keeping combustion engines.
I mean, I feel like it's just, to me, it's an alternative of fuel efficiency. Now, for me, I mean, it's like, I don't care about it being an EV. I drive it. I drive it like I steal it. You know what I mean? Like I drive kind of fast in it. And so, I feel like you could do whatever you want to do. And you see, I still got a Honda, so I'm not like full EV. It's just whatever makes sense. I don't think it's ever gonna with gas, you just don't know. Everybody acts like there's only this limited supply, but is it though? What's their version of limited to
Right.
use it? Um, I think I think it's, to me it works when I go on trips. The infrastructure is there, so it's not like what everybody feels like. Oh, and to be honest, even with the chargers, when I go on a trip, it's like 15 to 20 minutes, whatever. It's like every 2 hours. Man, I gotta
You
use
have to charge every 2 hours.
it depends on how fast you drive.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
just saying. But every 2 hours, I gotta use the restroom anyway because I'm just older. So, you know what I mean? So it's like,
So like, let's say you going from here to Florida. Does the
Yep.
car like map out
Yes.
where you could
yes,
like? Does it give you like what they call like the superchargers?
yes,
Okay, so it gives you those stations.
yes.
So
So
how long does that like take for you to charge?
so it all depends on, everything depends on how fast you drive. I learned with the first car because I was going to Tennessee that I'll be going like 100, 115.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Power, same thing as gas, goes faster,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
which means that I would lose the energy and then I'm at the superchargers longer to charge up.
Mm.
Interesting.
So where if I would have drove 90, 80, I think about 80, 75 to 80 is pretty good. Once you get to 90 and 100, you can tell it uses a lot more energy. Same thing with gas. So I could drive 80, get to the same charger I'm going to have to stop at anyway. But instead of staying 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I'm staying 15 minutes because it's saying, hey, when you plug it in, it's like, okay, you're going to be here for 15, 20 minutes. You'll be at, I do percentage instead of mileage. You can flip it. So it'll be like, all right, you'll be at 80%, and then you can go to the next one. You'll be at this one at this time, and then you'll be at
So you kind of planning it
yeah,
out.
it plans it out.
So it's kind of like if you had in your mindset of, okay, I'm gonna drive until I have a half a tank. A half a tank, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna refill it up, and drive until I have another half a tank again.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. So, it all depends on your drive. So I learned that, like, going to Florida, I'm like, okay, I'll leave my house. Now, that one I'll charge to 100%. You only charge to like 80 and 90%. If you charge to 100% all the time, the battery swells. Same thing, like, if you use a supercharger on your iPhone, the aftermarket ones, they might swell up your battery after a while. Have you ever
I
seen
didn't
that?
know that.
What?
So,
Yeah.
so,
Don't do that.
at home, 100%. And if I leave from my house, I can make it, Florida. So Florida, it can make Savannah. Yeah. So I can make it from my house to Savannah.
That's a long way. That's like
Right.
what? 3.5, 4 hours?
Yeah. So the first stop, I will stop like right outside Savannah, around that area.
That's pretty
Then
good.
it'll charge up. And what's good is like those superchargers, now they're not, but usually it's either at like Sheets, like a gas station. They'll be in a parking lot where there's like a food line, something by, right? So you're like, all right, plug it in. One, you don't need your wallet. Everything's on the app and you got your card and everything. So even if you forget your wallet, you're always gonna have your phone. So you just plug it in, it talks to it, it'll charge. You go and do what you need to do. And either one, if you're not ready to go, say you stop at 8, it'll let you charge, you can charge it all the way back up instead of whatever it's saying for you to go to the next stop.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. That's really cool though.
Yeah. And
It's cool to hear for somebody that has a car
Yeah.
versus us speculating when we were
And
talking about
what's
it.
so crazy is
You can't even make it to QT.
yeah. So what's cool is they're doing an update. So Tesla gets like a holiday update. So your car is kind of like an iPhone. When the new iOS comes out.
Mhm.
So every December Tesla comes out an update.
Really?
Yeah. So anytime there's a when they talk about they got a recall on it, it's a software update. They'll just send you the update. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
See, as I learn more about EVs, I'm not like the hate
Not
I
fully
used to have
opposed
for
to it.
Yeah, you're not like, all right, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I just don't like the push.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to be all on EV.
Yeah,
Or
like I want it to be an option. I don't want it to be like
Right.
Right, or like
Yeah.
when Dodge says we're making the Charger an EV, like why? Why can't you just make a new model that's EV?
Yeah.
not the
Like-
Charger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying like you don't have to make the Charger EV. Like just come up with a new car
Right.
and
But,
just
but it's, even with the gas, they're not making 8 cylinders anymore, right? Then they stopped making because
Dodge
now it's a mileage per gallon that they have to do, so they can't make it 8.
Yeah,
So-
they're dumping down to everyone now is doing a twin turbo V6.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it's EPA stuff, but my thing is like, why do you need to change like the Dodge Challenger? Why do you need to
Like-
make it an EV?
like a classic car
Yeah.
like that.
That's just my.
So
that's what I.
so a new one, it don't make sense. Now, I do go to shows that are all EV, and I have seen some conversions.
Like cars that are swapped EV.
Yes,
But see, that's an option.
yes.
It's not like they just like, okay, now all the new cars is just EV.
I mean, yeah. I'm
Like it's cool. I seen the cool. Where was it? Was it Mooresville? Like the one. What was the one here in Lake Norman that we used to go to that got shut down? The little Cars and Coffee. Mooresville.
Morrisville is up in Greenville, or
Yeah. But Mooresville is the one here.
Mooresville's here. Yeah.
The one that got shut down with the guy with the C300, the Chrysler.
Oh yeah, Lake
Lake
Marino,
Norman.
Marino Mill.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Chris, yeah.
So when we went there was a guy that pulled up in a Porsche that was EV swap.
yeah.
I mean, it was cool as hell, but you know, it's still like an option. So it's cool to see when people swap.
Yeah.
It's just like swapping a freaking motor, like putting a V8 in something that doesn't belong,
yeah,
like
yeah,
2JZ, RB26, or
Right.
whatever it is.
I always
that's
look at it just an option. I would never be like, this is the way it go. But you know, I'm telling you, how do you think people were back in the day with the horse and buggy?
You're right. You're right.
They were like, oh, I got 4 horses. I'm like, no, this is, you know what I mean? Like,
You got 4 horses?
yeah.
I got 500 horsepower.
Yeah, right. Like, that's what we got at. It's like, I mean,
Uh,
you know, times have changed. I mean, just imagine we still all riding horses over here. I mean, I'm not saying I'm
I
not
have the
pushing it.
cleanest horse in the
I know,
block.
right?
oh
The
no.
tires shine on the roof. Got some spinners.
My horse got bedazzled,
That's
bro.
right. Oh.
Put a grill on it.
Put a grill on your horse.
Start that horse up in the morning.
Oh my god.
Imagine you put a backup beeper on a horse. What would that sound like? No, back up.
I'm in my rearview camera, man. Get this turn. It's on that thing.
Shout out to everybody who's riding horses.
You guys are the real ones.
Oh my
Oh, that's freaking funny.
Oh shit.
That shit was freaking hilarious. So, if you were to recommend a car for somebody to get as a first car, what would it be?
As a first car, like with Jace, I recommend a Honda. One, you can work on them. Two, you know, they're reliable. So, something that he can learn about his car if you're able to do the maintenance on him and grow from there. I feel like those are the best cars, you know. Some of the newer ones, it might be a little bit cramped, but, you know. But yeah, that's what I tell him. He wants to get some other cars, but I feel like...
I mean, it's always good to like learn how to
Yeah,
get your feet wet. You know,
Right.
learn how to do a couple things, and then evolve with, like also your job. Evolve with like the money that you're making. You know, you don't want to get into a car that you can't afford, or you
Okay.
can't afford the maintenance on it, and then you're gonna
Right.
be stuck in a pickle.
oh man.
You're gonna be screwed.
BMW, Mercedes, that Mercedes I had,
It'll put you in a rough spot if something
Yeah.
goes wrong, and then the thing is, you try to cheap out or do it the cheap way, and then more shit keeps going
Exactly.
wrong, and then you just keep digging yourself
Yep.
in the hole, and then you're like, I just wasted all this money on this car, and
Yep.
it's still not working right.
yeah,
So it's always good to evolve with, you know, with your lifestyle, I guess, with the cars. Well, bro, I want to thank you for coming on and giving us a chance to hear your story and how you got started into car. Jace, thank you for being a guest.
That's cool.
Where can people find you on social media?
So on Instagram, I am Jarvis _M3P.
There, I thought
Yeah.
that's your whole last name garage.
No, I changed. And we changed. And I think it's the same on TikTok.
TikTok, okay.
Yeah, those two. Facebook, not really.
Yeah, so it's just Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
So everybody, his social media information will be linked in the description below. So make sure you give him a follow. Mr. Tuesday info is gonna be down there too, and
Yeah,
Elite Styles. shout out your Instagram.
At Shop by JC. Go like the post. I'm at car shows every weekend. You know it.
This,
We're gonna have Chase Instagram also in the description below. Make sure you guys check it out. And again, guys, thank you for coming on.
Hell yeah.
You know, it was a pleasure getting to know you guys better.
yeah.
For everybody out there, just share with your friends and family. Give the video a like. Until the next one, peace.
Peace.
That was a wrap.